scrub the spot, get the club to pop. When I come up with the crop, gotta love it or not. I'm hot from the hop to the scrub the spot, get the club to pop. When I come up with the scrub the spot, get the club to pop. When I come up with the scrub the spot, get the club to pop. When I come up with the scrub the spot, get the club to pop. When I come up with everybody, we do it. Everybody, we do it. Then I whooped the bitch ass at Walmart.
To me, am I good? Am I here? Hi, I'm here. Episode 110 though. What is good? What is going on right now? Are we having technical difficulties right now? Are we good? All right, we're going to bounce back into this. What is good? Is this your first time tapping in? Welcome to Trap Talk with MJ. I'm your boy MJ. Do yourself a favor and then do your boy a favor. Hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the dislike button. I'm even hella cool with dropping comments because we like to hear them comments. We want to hear them feedback. So does the guest. Let me know how you're liking the episodes. Let me know how you're liking what I've been bringing to the channel, man. But more importantly, you guys know what the deal is. For the freshest and bestest rodents delivered to your doorstep, that's that Cold-Blooded Cafe. www.coldbloodedcafe.com. $30 flat rate shipping. Cannot complain when it comes to professionally packed rodents that are on that perfect Missouri feed diet. None of the, I can only imagine what most rodent breeders feed like their rodents. Because, you got to understand, a lot of people, I'm not going to say a lot of people, but there has to be people out there who just don't give a shit about what diet they feed their rodents, which is like not the plan. You got to make sure your rodents are being fed that Missouri. Missouri's the way to go. I'm telling you right now. And that's all Cold-Blooded Cafe feeds their rodents is that Missouri feed. So shout out to Desiree, shout out to Steven, my whole Cold-Blooded Cafe family. MJ loves you. What is good? Sim Container, man. Shout out to Sim Container. Shout out to Alex. Shout out to John. Sim Container design is where it's at. If you got eggs, put them inside of a sim box. You could thank me later. If it's a sim, it's a win. 100%. I'm on my... That's that focus habitats. Shout out to Ashley. Shout out to Steven. Flex in Texas. On another level with these designs, with these PVC built enclosures. I mean, my biggest thing I love about PVC built enclosures, they're so easy to move. When they're so easy to move, you're so easy to add different snakes and shit to your collection. You know what I mean? You see what I'm saying? So go Focus Cube Habitats. Go check them out on Instagram. Go to their website and go see what they're coming out with. They always come out with something new. I'm telling you, they're on their shit. So shout out to Steven, shout out to Ashley. And then if you want to talk about being on top of your shit since the 90s, professional stainless steel racks by Freedom Breeder made in the United States. Shout out to Jesse. Shout out to Lindy, the OG, but shout out to the whole entire Freedom Breeder crew for providing the hobby with some amazing built racks. And if you have a Freedom Breeder rack, you know exactly where I'm coming at with this professional level shit. I'll tell you that much, tell you that right now. If you want to talk about next level shit, always evolving pythons, always raising the bar, just always handsome. Me, you know, can I just keep going? I guess I can, but fuck, this guy is amazing. This guy constantly inspires people like myself. And if you out there are looking to be someone really involved with the animals and YouTube side of things, then you're going to want to follow Miguel and see what he's been doing, because he has not only a sick ass English channel, but he has a Spanish channel. Like, the guy's hustling. He knows what he's doing. And I suggest you go check him out. If you're looking to do this animal thing full time someday and you want to learn how can I do it, then you're going to want to go follow people like Miguel Garcia. And that's a fact. Shout out to my boy Miguel. Thank you so much for supporting me. And then, guys, US Arc never stops. Let's go ahead and continue to support US Arc. If you have no idea what the hell I'm talking about, that's when that person that has no idea what I'm talking about, goes down to the link, click on the US Arc link, read up on it, and see exactly what they do for us. They're constantly protecting our rights to keep animals. And it's crazy. Who would think, like, oh, who the fuck would want to take our pets? Well, there's people out there that want to take our pets. They want to take everything that we have been doing, and they just want us to not have anything. Fuck that. They want us to be miserable. It's not going to happen. So let's do our part. Let's go to US Arc. Let's help them fight to keep our animal rights. Shout out to Phil Goss, doing big things. And then, yeah, if you guys ever want to hit me up, if you want to see what's available, and if you want to know more about what I'm doing, because, like, listen, I do this podcast for the guest. Yeah, I talk about me every now and then, but I don't talk about myself, you know, solely. You know what I mean? So if you are out there just curious, like, hey, what does this MJ guy work with? Like, yeah, man, like, he's a podcaster, but does he even have sick animals? Yes, I do have sick animals. I have a shit ton of sick animals. You best believe I have a sick ass fucking reptile collection, and you should go check it out. Go to mjexoticscartal with an A, not an E. I also have some sweet ball python noodles available. Yeah, ball pythons. Hit me up. Trap Talk with MJ podcast. Go follow the Instagram page. Shout out to Twitch. What is good? All my Twitch viewers in the building. If you want to support this channel more than a subscription, dude, PayPal all day, every day. I send any donations over to US Arc. Anything that this channel makes, even super chat. So if you ever want to drop a super chat, and if you want, I see all my early birds in the building, but if you want to drop a question to the guest, and you're like, man, I really hope MJ reads my question because I have this serious question. Well, that's when you need to drop a super chat, because I call out all super chats. Better than that. Not only do I call out all super chats, but anything that's a super chat donated to this channel goes straight to US Arc. It's a circular motion. Anyways, guys, super chats are more than welcome. They're more than appreciated. And yeah, man, I'm excited to get this fucking show going, because when was the last time I had an international guest on the podcast? It's been a while. Let alone Saturday, baby. Here we go. Coffee dabs in session. I got my coffees, and I've already hit one big dab. I'm in the mood to do another one. I'm not even going to lie. But before I do all that, I got to say what's up to my early birds up in the building. Man, we already have a super chat too. What up with the homie Adrian Blue? What's good, Adrian Blue? Adrian Blue just copped a female Leo Pied for me, and I know he's excited. But what's up, Adrian? Thanks for being here. He's actually a Trap Patreon member as well, so I appreciate your support. Trap loyalty right here. This is 1776 Exotics, the big homie Mike. Trap Patreon OG fam all day, every day. Aurelio, what is good, homie? How are you doing? Jacob, he's part of the Trap management team. That's my boy right here. What's up, Jacob? Reptile Club, what is good? Hey, I brought these back for you, player. My boy Angel, go follow my boy Angel, Reptile Club 310. That's my boy. He also picked up some trap heat a couple weeks ago, and he's picking up more trap heat. So I'm saying, man, jump on this wagon. Let's go. What's good, Angel? I'm glad you're here. Homegirl Aurora in the building. What's up, Aurora? You're such a homie. I love you. 403 Fauna, what is good? Welcome in the building. The homie Barbara J, what is good? I salute my boy Jay from Indy. One of the only cats why I would really want to go back to Indy so I could see my homie Jason. Barbara J, I don't know why I called you Jason, my bad. And then we have the general right here, Sergeant of Arms. This guy right here is somebody you definitely want to go follow. He started the same time I have, and we've built a relationship that has never stopped. I respect this guy fully. He is the general. He is somebody to where if he's in your corner, he's going to back you up to the fucking fullest. So he's a real homie. And I suggest you go follow him because he actually added a bunch of trap heat to his collection. And Matt Summers in the building right here, got audio, my travel and audio manager when I hit the roads to do trap talk, my man Matt Summers. Go follow my man Matt Summers. Go subscribe to his YouTube channel. Go watch his videos. He's putting out heat. Go give him some love. I appreciate it. Let him know your boy MJ sent you. Wiz Constrictor! Dog, your baby, it's fresh. The whole back. Congratulations. My man just had a baby. I'm so excited for you, Wiz. Your wife was actually due like that Monday at Tinley, and she was still there with you, walking around, watching your ass look at animals, probably copping shit. Dude, that's a real one. You want to talk a real one right there? This wife is literally due to drop a baby in like within days, and she's at Tinley, walking around with her husband. That's right. That's what I'm talking about, man. All right, I'm gonna end on Wiz Constrictor because I want to get this show started here. We have my man tapping in from the UK, and I followed my man Don for my man. His name's Josh, but Don. I'm gonna call him Don because I just like that better. So Don, I've been following my man Don for over a year now. I want to say a good couple of years, and I actually reached out to him to do an international trap talk few months ago, and then just things happen, and but regardless, I stay on top of my shit, and he is ready to tap in with us, and he's coming in from the other side of the pond, and he's gonna top some game with us. What is good? The homie Josh from Don Royals.
What's good?
How you living, bro?
Good, mate. You?
Good. So you're in the whip because why are you in your car?
I got 2 3-year-olds that would never let me do this without constant disturbance, so basically just a bit of peace and quiet out the way.
You got to make it happen. Hey, listen, this is why I respect, because, I talk to so many breeders who've had kids and they make it work. And then I've had friends who like stop breeding because like, oh, I have kids, man. It's just too much. I feel like you make the kids an excuse for everything. No. If you really want to make something happen, you'll make something happen. You could have easily been like, sorry, man, I can't, the kids won't let me. You're in your car and you're making it happen. So I salute you on that. That's what's up, dude. So how's everything going in the UK, man? I haven't talked to anyone in the UK in a few months. I have my buddy Christian, and we have Gavin and stuff, but I haven't really talked to anyone. Like, what's new over there, man? How are things flowing? How's your breeding season going? Kind of give us an update on what's going on with you.
Yeah, it's all good. I just started pairing again for this season, so
okay,
literally maybe about 2 or 3 weeks ago. So things are starting to look good. I got a few females that I've been growing that are just up to size now. That hopefully this should be a good season. I made some nice stuff last season and the season before, but some of the stuff that I've grown on is now a little bit bigger, a little bit closer to being ready. So hopefully some of the good holdbacks that I've had and made should start doing some things for me.
I'll tell you right now, Don, since following your page, you've been kind of that influence for me to understand that you don't need a million fucking morphs to make a really high quality, good looking snake. You just need the right genes. Yes. And you need the highest quality of that gene. That's all that is, which we'll tap into all that. But before we get into your projects and what's happening with you right now, let's kind of take it back. Like how far you been involved with breeding ball pythons, and like what was the influence behind it?
Do you know what? I don't even know how long. I started keeping snakes when I was like, I don't know, maybe like 10 or something like that. So like 21 years. So I started keeping reptiles. There's a few allotments and that around my way. And me and my brothers and sisters used to go there and like lift stuff up and find slow worms and frogs and that sort of stuff. And I always liked it. And watched Steve Irwin on the telly when I was little as well. And it was one thing that I always liked. One of my dad's friends, he had a snake, and it sort of, I always asked, and I was never allowed when I was little. And then one day he was like, yeah, you can have some lizards. So I got a couple of lizards, and I must have been about 10. I was in primary school, so I think I was about 10. And then after that, one led to another, and then I ended up with loads of snakes and more snakes and more snakes. So I had a bit of time out. I moved out when I was 17, I think I was. I moved out, and I only had one snake at a time. I had a Burmese python. I got it when I was 16, and I had that for like most of my life.
Wow, cool.
After that. And then I had a bit of time where I couldn't keep snakes where I was living. So I sort of had a bit of time off. I gave a couple of the snakes I had to my friend. And then maybe like 10 years later, I got one of those snakes back. So now I've got that snake again that I've had, well, me / my friends had all that time. And then I think maybe about 5 years ago, I started buying more and more, building up a collection again, because I could keep snakes again in the house that I was living at, so I didn't have to worry about, you know, all that sort of thing. And now I'm at a point where I can just sort of keep what I want.
That's awesome. So, okay, let's kind of speed up to where you are now, because now you have 3 kids. So, I mean, like, how many years have
you? Two kids that are both free.
2 kids, 2 3-year-olds. Yeah. So twins, are they twins?
No, actually, they're 11 months apart, but the first one was 2 months early. So really, they're only like 9 months apart.
Dude, that has to be the closest. That has to be one of the closest things in like possible you can get to without being a twin. Like, that's crazy.
Yeah. Everybody always asks if they're twins as well.
Do they look alike?
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, but not so much. It's more that they're the same size. You know, they're not much difference in size, so everybody thinks they're twins.
Oh wow, that's funny. And they're both boys, boy, girl. What are they?
Boy and a girl. Yeah, boy first, Donnie, which is one of the reasons why I come up with Don Royal Reptiles, because I call my son Donnie, so it's sort of like
there you go. I love it.
My daughter Callie.
Callie, Donnie, and Callie. I love it. Pretty names. Now let me ask you this, man. So you have 2 kids now. I mean, how many years have you successfully been breeding to where like you've been making profit off of it? Like it's been actually like helping you live.
Profit? Oh, no such thing as profit, man. I spend all of it on more snakes.
Oh, really?
Nah. I don't know. The last few years, I put a lot of money in over the last maybe like 5 years, because obviously I was at a point where I wasn't keeping snakes because I couldn't where I was living. And then I think maybe about 5 years ago, I started keeping again and started breeding pretty much straight away from when I started keeping again. So I've just built up the collection again over the last sort of 5 years. And now I'm at a point where that's starting to make a good bit of money on top of, like, you know, trying to make back what I did when I put the money in at the first 5 years. Like.
Right. So, okay, let's kind of talk about the 5 years ago when you started really kind of investing in shit. Like, what were some of the investment projects you were like, you know, getting into then?
Mostly hypo stuff, you know. As soon as I saw an orange dream. In fact, it was a super orange dream hypo that I saw, and I thought I need that. And nobody was selling them. They just weren't really available. I managed to find a orange dream yellow belly het hypo male, and I bought that. And that snake has just done things for me that no other snake has. I mean, some of those epic combos that you've seen on my Instagram. That came from that het, and the quality of him is amazing. Like for a het, he is unbelievable, and the stuff that he's produced has been unbelievable. But now, obviously, I've got the stuff that he's produced has grown. So this season, his son, which is Orange Dream Yellow Belly Enchi Hypo, has just started breeding for me. So hopefully, he'll be taking over from his dad. I kept him as a backup just in case, sort of thing. But at the moment, it seems like his son's up for it. So hopefully, he'll be replacing the dad.
I mean, I know, of course, hets no visual, but at the end of the day, man, there are some hets out there that can literally put you on. And if you know how to work those hets and do the right things with them, man, oh man, I can tell you right now, like I have a thing of just holding back hets. Like if it's a really nice het female, I'm like, fuck. I was like, I really want to get more for this, and I can't get more for this because it's a het. So I'm just gonna keep it, and I'll breed the motherfucking. I'll you know what I mean? It just makes more sense to breed them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because you don't really. I feel like some people see the true value in hets, but like I feel like the hets are just too devalued compared to what a visual could be. You know what I mean? Yeah. But it's also who you get it from, and that's why like. I think I believe in my het so much because like I'm getting hets from like Miguel, people like Justin Kabelka, like you know, like where it's like, you know, you're good. You know what I mean? You're in a good place if you get it from people like them. Now, dude, one thing I know for sure about UK, man, and I don't know if this was just like within the last few years, but like the availability is really difficult in UK compared to America, right? Like it's nothing like what we have here.
Yeah, I mean, I was bringing in a lot of stuff from Europe because it wasn't available in the UK. Like that one, for example, that I was talking about a minute ago, I bought that in from maybe Germany. I'm trying to think now. It was a few years ago now, so I can't remember. But most of what I had originally, I bought them from Europe because it's not available in the UK. I mean, a lot of stuff I've got and that I've made, nobody else is making because it's just not available. And now they've done with the Brexit situation, it's sort of a little bit more difficult to get the snakes in. So I'm thinking the UK market is going to pick up a lot more because everybody's going to be wanting to get them from the UK because it's just a lot more difficult to get it from Europe now.
So I mean, the UK market's definitely building by the day now, right?
Yeah.
Okay, which is good for you guys because you guys deserve it, and you guys do have a lot of awesome breeders in the UK. And it sucks that it's like going on a fucking goddamn secret mission to get a snake that you need. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, that's why I ended up with quite a few hets that I wouldn't normally have bought. But it was a case of I wanted that gene in my projects, but I couldn't get a visual, so I bought the het and thought I'd make the visual, and I got lucky with some of them, and some of the stuff I've made was the best clutch I had last season, I think it was. It was only 7 eggs in it, and I hit 6 visuals, and almost all of them, apart from one, had Orange Dream in it. So that was like Orange Dream hypos that all come from that one het. So I just got lucky on that one, and then now obviously I'm at a point where I've got the good stuff now. So from here on out, I've moved on most of my hets. I kept a couple, but most of what I had, I moved on, and now I've got loads of visual stuff that I've been growing up, that some of it's stuff that people haven't actually seen yet. I've just kept it on the low, and then when it starts breeding, then I'll start showing people what's there.
So with that being said about the UK market kind of getting bigger, I mean, are sales being consistent? You feel like do you had any issues selling your snakes this year, or did you do pretty good?
No. I mean, I haven't really had. The thing is, I'm trying to breed stuff that not many people have got, or just like quite sought after. Just not common. So it sells pretty quick. I mean, obviously, you get the things that are a little bit more difficult to sell, be like just like your normals and stuff like that. Every clutch that you get from a head, you're going to get something in there that's not going to sell very well because it's not desirable or whatever. But generally, a lot of the stuff that I've been selling pretty quick, so I can't really complain.
You know what I do? Here's like, I don't know if this is even, if anyone else does this, I'm sure they do, but like, hets, like even a normal het pied, let's just say, right? Like it's a beautiful snake. It's a normal, but it's a het pied, right? But it does, to me, it's not like I don't feel like you should just trash it for like $40 or $50. Yeah. You know what I mean? So what I do in this situation is I'll wait for somebody who like is like either new or excited or is wanting to build, and they're like, hey, do you have like, let's just say a banana male het pied available? Like, and I'm like, yeah, here you go. And what I'll do is I'll toss in that het male for them, like obviously let them know, but I'll like, just because like that excitement that I see from somebody not expecting a free het pied snake, like, and not only that, like they're going to come back to you and buy more snakes from you now. You know what I mean? So it's like,
I have actually done similar myself. I mean, there's a few new people that have asked for certain snakes from me, and I've sort of included other snakes in the deal just as sort of like to help them get started in a way as well.
Exactly.
I mean, one of my friends at the moment, I took him to a little show the other day and he was loving it. So as soon as we got back, he's like, what have you got? What can you sell me? And I was like,
yeah. See, dude, isn't that amazing? I love sharing that. Like when I finally see what I had in somebody else, I'm like, dude, I'll hook you the fuck up. Like, I know what you're going through, bro. Like, let's talk. I just had the homie Angel over here, my buddy Angel, Reptile Club 3110. He was at my house and he picked up a snake, and the dude was overwhelmed because what else I had available. You know what I mean? And I was like, oh, bro, I was like, listen, let's collect our thoughts here. We went out to lunch, we talked, and like now we have a whole game plan for him. So it's fucking awesome. Nice. I love that shit. Now let me ask you this, bro. With you holding back stuff and raising stuff up, what's your game plan with your males that you like let's say you have one male that you used this year, but next year you're more likely not going to use them, and let's say you don't use them, do you still hold on to that male for a few years, or do you like kind of usually part with them?
It depends. It does depend. If the male just replacing him does well straight away, then maybe I would move it on, but I have got a couple of snakes that I'm just keeping just because I don't want to get rid of them. I like them, or they've bred well for me, and I sort of, they're my friends. I want to keep them.
I feel you on that. No, yeah, because I'm approaching my next year where I'll have probably 3 males that, I mean, they did their job, man. Like, hey, I might need them if something doesn't happen. If things don't go right, then yeah, I'll need them. But like, I'm just, I'm just now starting to look at males that potentially in the next 2 years I'll have nothing. I won't need them for anything, So I was just curious on it, like, do you just hold on to them, or you end up selling them? Like,
No, I have sold a few that have been replaced sort of by their offspring, and then there's a few that I've sort of kept ready to sell at some point, but just I'm not quite selling them yet. I mean, as I was saying about my friend, there's a few snakes that I've kept that I thought this would be good for him, sort of projects that got me going. that could get someone else going without them having to spend loads on a visual. You know, it's sort of, I know that what I've made with some of those hets has been as good as any visual could make. So
Right.
there's a lot of value in them, and some of them I don't want to devalue them by selling them, you know, moving them on at a less price. Because obviously when I bought them, say 4 or 5 years ago, they were more money then than they're worth now.
Yeah.
It's not about I care about losing the money on them. That's not a problem for me because of what I've made from them. It's more a case of I feel like the snake has more value. It has value to me because of what it's done for me, you know.
Right.
So I would rather keep it than than it lose value, if you know. If you know what I mean? Like to me, it's valuable because of what it's done for me. So I don't know. I do keep some snakes that I don't really need.
It's like, it's kind of like you have somebody who's like a fucking star, you know, like somebody who's like a goddamn star running back or a star football player or some shit, right? And then all of a sudden you put them in a whole nother league where all their stats just go to shit. And it's like, yeah, and like you're just not as valued anymore because like, yeah, you put this snake on a pedestal because you have all these fucking records of what it's done for you. And as soon as you sell it to this other person, they either have zero, like, you know, it's just different. It's like you start from scratch and it's like, damn, that sucks. Like this guy did some major work. You know what I mean? So
yeah, that's why at the moment I've kept some of them because I don't want that.
Oh my God, that's crazy. Okay, so let's take things back to your earlier days when you were first coming out with clutches. How big was the learning curve for you? I mean, I sit here and brag how breeding ball pythons are easy, but in reality, it's different for some people. So did you have any issues with your incubation process? Did you have to reach out and learn some things? Like, let's talk about some of your learning curves in the beginning of your breeding.
No,
and listen, hey, Don or Josh, while you're talking, I'm going to take a quick piss so I can hear you. Just keep going.
Yeah, no worries. With the incubation situation, I mean, I got lucky. I built myself an incubator and it worked perfect, and I've still got it now. And it's the only time I've ever lost a clutch is when I tried something new. So I've always used vermiculite, and it's always worked perfect for me. Never had any problems. And the one time I went to just water, the whole clutch got wet. And although it was raised nice as it should be, everything was exactly how I seen in all the videos that people do. It should have worked fine, and it didn't. So from then I went back to the vermiculite, and I've stuck with that, and every time it's all been fine. So yeah, incubation's never been a problem. I mean, years ago when I was younger, I bred like lizards and stuff anyway, so I was always sort of had a bit of experience around that. So I don't know. It's not something I've had a problem with. Breeding wise, obviously you got to learn how the process works and all the rest of it. But yeah, it's not been. I think I got lucky, you know. I think I've just got lucky. I've only ever lost one clutch, so.
Wow,
And
good
that
for
was
you.
that was, as I said, from changing what I was used to. Vermiculite works perfect for me. I'm gonna stick with that. The one time I changed it, I lost the whole clutch, and that was
Never again.
Never again.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, if that's why you guys, okay, people out there need to understand, if you are having issues hatching a ball python clutch, dude, it's a mistake on your end because it's not hard to fucking hatch a ball python clutch. So what you need to do is really, like, I mean, like I said, I've asked a few people in the beginning, like, you know, hey, like, what's the deal with the incubation? But then when I found out I was getting all these different answers, I'm like, all right, who do I really trust? Like, who is it that I talk to in this game that I trust the most? And I know, like, I really follow what they do. And that was Miguel. So everything Miguel told me that he did, I remember literally writing it down, and I never switched it. I never switched it because it always worked. So once I saw that it was always working, bro, the temps, I've not changed a fucking dial, anything, ever since I started breeding ball pythons. Green tree pythons, a whole nother story. We won't talk about that. But dude, ball pythons, bro, I'm telling you right now, man. And once you got it dialed down, which it shouldn't be hard to dial down, just listen to somebody who's doing it right. Stick to what they do. Don't come up with no MacGyver shit or fucking add anything. Just straightforward. Just do it. That's it. And you'll get eggs. And you know what I mean? Awesome. So, okay, now let's dip into the feeding regimens, man. Okay, I mean, because hey, ball pythons are finicky, bro, and you know, I've had good luck for the most part, but have you had any, like, you know, like clutches where, like, you know, most had to be assist fed, or you've been pretty good with that? Wow, awesome.
Actually, never. Right? Yeah, this. I don't. I think what it is. Yeah, I do things a little bit different. I run ambient system. Yeah, so I got full ambient rooms, run it around 85, 86 all the time, and I don't get any problems with hatchlings feeding. All the time, I feed them. I put a little fuzzy in there, they'll take it, no problem. I don't know. I think people are too quick to try and assist feed or to try and force feed. I'll just put it in there, shut the drawer, don't disturb the snake, leave it, come back later on, and it's gone. And this seems to happen all the time. And I've had snakes that I've bought in that have been shit feeders, and just it's took a while to get them going. But if I can not assist feed or not force feed, then I think that the ambient temperature, whereas optimum temperature all the time, they seem to like it. I seem to get better feeding.
Yeah, consistent temperatures.
Yeah, I mean, I know. When I first started it all up again, I was running it with hot spots and all the rest of it. And then I saw this project. I can't remember the guy's name, and he basically said about using an ambient system. And I thought, I'm gonna try it. And the first season I did it, it worked perfectly, and it's worked for me ever since. So now I just run ambient all the time, and I can't complain. All my snakes eat, they all breed. Like I don't get slugs either. That's another thing that I found is if your temperatures are too high or your hotspot's a little bit too high, you're gonna get slugs. And where I'm only running 86 in the room all the time, I never get slugs. It's just there's something about doing that way that's closer to what they would experience in the wild that I think benefits my whole breeding process, and it works perfect.
So no heat tape at all even for an ovulated female.
Nope, nothing.
Wow.
The whole room is set the same temperature. I've got 3 radiators in the room, in obviously 3 different corners of the room, and fans circulating all the air, nice bit of ventilation, and I got a humidifier in there as well, which keeps the humidity like at a reasonable amount, and it works.
So no nighttime drops, no nothing.
Nothing.
Straight through 84, 85.
Well, it's 85, 86. I mean, I have found in the winter that sometimes it'll be like closer on the bottom of 85, and then in the summer it'll be closer on the top of 85, 86. But it's like 1 degree sort of fluctuation at the most, and it works. It works amazing.
Dude, and think about the risk factor that you're eliminating. I mean, yeah, you still have heat. I'm like what are you doing to produce heat, by the way? Just curious.
I got 3 radiators in the room.
Radiators. Okay, that's what it was.
Yeah,
So
I got 3 oil-filled radiators.
I feel like a radiator's more like Leslie to catch on fire than a piece of heat tape. I feel like a piece of heat tape is way more riskier than a radiator. Am I right?
I agree completely.
Yeah.
I'm never going to get the situation where one rack or one part of the rack gets overheated or the heat goes out, because I've got those 3 radiators. If one of the radiators die, the other 2 radiators will just turn themselves up a little bit to counter the fact that the one's died, you know? I've not had a problem with any of the radiators I've got. The ones I'm using at the moment seem to work perfect.
Do you have something that, like, for whatever reason, if it's getting too hot, it automatically shuts off? Like,
they're all on thermostats. Yeah. So they're all set perfect, 86, all of them, and they all do their thing, and they stay the right temperature every time I open the door. I got thermometers all over the room, so when I walk in, I can see what the temperature is in every corner of the room, and it's always perfect. I think it took a little while to get the fans in the right place to circulate the air nicely and make sure that the heat on the floor is the same temperature as the heat at the top, if you know what I mean. Now that I've got that mastered, it's perfect and it works amazing.
How big of an airflow do you have when you walk into your room? Is it like a big fan going, or like how's it usually?
There's actually one on the back of the door, so when you walk in the room, you feel the fan straight away. I've got 3 fans in there that are all facing sort of down and to the right, so it circulates constantly. It's like a little tornado going on in there.
That's cool.
It's not too much, if you know what I mean. But wherever you are, you can put your hand up and feel the draft is being circulated, so it seems to work. It's always perfect temperature in every corner of the room, so I'm gonna sit with it.
What I do, Josh, is I don't run any heat, but only on females, just because I feel like, you know, once they ovulate, they need 90. But I had Mark Bailey on like a few months ago. Yeah, I don't know if you know who Mark Bailey Reptiles is, but Mark Bailey does not run heat tape either, and he just runs like whatever temps in the room, and it's strictly ambient. So, dude, man, I mean, I feel like sometimes, you know, this is just could be a good example how humans do too much for an animal. Like we don't, you know, like they don't, even though there is situations where a snake could be in a demographic where there's 90 to 95 degree weather. Bro, these things are hitting in like fucking in mite mounds and shit. Like, I don't know about mite mounds. Am I saying ant mounds, or I can't even termite mounds? That's right.
Yeah.
Like termite mounds, like they're fucking like literally packed in dirt in like where it's cold as fuck. Like, you know, I don't know, like it's crazy, man. There's definitely a lot of different ways to do things, but when I hear this way, like the more simpler way, I feel like there's a reason why it's like why it works so well, because you don't need to do as much, you know, like
Yeah.
the whole 90 hotspot for every ball python never made sense to me. I was like, what? Like that doesn't even for a hatchling? Yeah, 90 all the way. What? No,
I did do that. I mean, I did do that when I first got back into it. I was doing that, you know. I had heat mats on everything, but then I saw this. There was a discussion on Facebook. It's called the Sans Serra. I can't remember exactly what it is, but this guy, he's been to Africa. He studied he's taking temperatures in the ground, underground, and everywhere it's around 85, 86. Everywhere they find them, you know, they might come out in the sun now and again, but you know that's not where they're living. They're living underground in holes, in caves and out the way where it's cooler. And that is what they want. That's their optimum temperature. And I saw that and I thought, you know, I'm going to try that. And I asked a little bit of advice from him, and I was following the group. I'll send you the link to the Facebook group, because there's a lot of information. There's loads of big breeders that are in that group that have followed what he said, and they're all having success doing it the way that he's come up with, you know. So I thought I'm going to try it myself, and it's been amazing.
Okay, so let's talk about your rodents, man. Do you breed your own rodents, or all right, cool. That's the grind right there. So how many rodents are you like producing, or I mean, how are you working your rodents? Let's talk about your rodent game.
Right. I do buy some, but not many. Like I buy some just for like, especially for the females, because I find it hard to keep up with having the right amount of adults to feed to my adults. So I do buy some of the adult rats in and frozen ones and just defrost them. But mostly I do breed my own. All the babies that I've got, I will feed all off my own. I don't know. I couldn't tell you how many adults I've got, but what I've got is I've got a load of rack systems. I've got 3 female rats in each one. And all I do is I just put a male in for a couple of weeks, maybe like 2 weeks at a time, take him out, let them do their thing, and just constantly rotate. So I couldn't tell you how many I'm producing. Enough to feed what I've got.
Right.
Obviously, if I was feeding all my adult females as well, I probably wouldn't be able to keep up, because when you're getting rid of your adults all the time, that's my breeders, you know. So what I'm doing is I'm feeding off anything less than like a large wiener. I'm feeding myself, and anything above large wiener, I'm going with frozen. There obviously are times where I've got female rats that are past their best and sort of aren't breeding well anymore, and then I will, you know, use those ones. But generally, I'd say about 90% of what I do for myself.
Okay. And the rats are ASFs?
Yeah, rats. Yeah, I am actually about to get a few ASFs. So I've got to pick a snake up in a couple of weeks, and the guy that I'm picking them up from, he breeds them, and he said I'll sort you a couple of groups out. Like, I don't really need them. All my snakes seem to eat fine, but it was more of a backup if I ever do get one that doesn't eat, or if I have got an adult female, and she's just a shit feeder. One of the best looking snakes I've got, yeah, and ever since I've had her, she's just been shit feeder. She went through a stage where she ate maybe like 3 months, she ate smashed food, and then she's gone back to being shit again. I'm like, aha. So I did try her with the ASF, and she did eat it. So I'm gonna just for her more than anything, you know.
Now, what's your take on like ASFs, you know, being a better source of diet for your breeder females? I mean, do you feel like that's accurate? Do you feel like you're having just as good as luck with regular rats than ASFs? What's your take on that?
Yeah, rats work fine for me. I mean, you always see people saying about protein content, fat content. You know, I think someone just made this up, you know. I don't think that this is true. I really don't. Like, I'm into like bodybuilding and stuff like that. So I've always been like on my diet thing, eating wise. And I always think, how has someone got a load of adult rodents and tested them for their exact quantities of what's in them? I think it's just a lot of hype around it, that everyone's like, yeah, they're better, the protein content's better and all this. I think no, you can't say that. Depending on the diet of the rat will depend on the quality of the rat, all these things. How much exercise does that rat get or that ASF get? You cannot say that one is specifically this amount of protein and this amount of fat, and this one is this, because you do not know how that animal's been raised. It's people have been.
And if you were to get and to get that accurate number takes a lot of science power.
Yeah, I mean, I think someone just made it up.
Do a lot of research.
Everyone keeps saying it, and then everyone sees someone else saying it, so they say it, and they
jump
say
on
it.
the wagon. Oh my god, that's a good point, bro. Motherfuckers love jumping on bandwagons in this hobby, and it's like, bro, relax. Like, and I shut that shit down on my Patreon page a lot too, because they'll come and bring hype on something, and I'm like, okay, where'd you hear this from? And then the source it's from, it's like, that's not fucking, that doesn't mean shit. You know what I mean? Like, so it's, and I get people like to support others, and they're like, oh, well, I believe it. You know what I mean? But man, that hype train that happens so often in this hobby, it's pretty funny.
I think there's just too many variables when you're growing a rodent to say that this is better and this has this content and that content. There's too many variables when you're raising it. If you keep your rats in a tiny little tub and they're not getting any exercise, they're going to have a higher fat content. I keep mine in long tubs. So my tubs are probably about, where are we? About that sort of width, but they're long. So those rats, to get their food, they're running up and down, so they're getting a bit of exercise. I see a lot of people keeping them in tiny tubs, but if you're going to do that, they're going to have a poorer muscle quality and a higher fat content. That's just how it is, Animals are like people. If they're not getting any exercise, they're going to get fat. So it does depend on how they're raised. There's too many variables to say that, as I was saying, that this is specifically this amount and this amount.
Now it's, because it didn't mind fuck me in the beginning, man. The only reason, because I live in California, right? So I'm in San Diego, California. And I didn't know this till after I inquired a couple colonies of ASFs. But after I got them, I love the ASFs. I was like, man, these are cool. Like, I saw my ball pythons were just kind of going crazy over them. But I did keep it. I kept it even. I didn't just go straight to ASFs and not rats. I was breeding rats and ASFs. What I was doing, I was kind of saving the ASFs just for the hatchlings. I was giving hatchlings just like the hoppers, and they were murdering them, kind of getting that appetite going. But after not even a year of me having these ASFs, as my Instagram was building, I had people telling me, hey man, ASFs are illegal in California. You can't have them. And I'm like, and by then I already had 6 colonies. And I was like, bro, go fuck yourself. I was like, you know what I mean? And then I got a knock on my door from wildlife. And I was like, bro, that's when I knew. I was like, dude, there's some bitch ass haters in this fucking game. I was like, I cannot believe there's wildlife. And it had to be somebody I was close to, because not everyone, especially back then, not everyone knew my address. So I was like, dude, what the fuck? So that put a bad taste in my mouth, but eventually it was what it was. I was just more keen on the fact that I thought I needed ASFs, but really, I mean, you don't need them.
They could be good quality food, that's what they'll eat in the wild. I'm not saying that they're bad. They're obviously good, but I think you can do just as well with rats or mice. Maybe not so much mice because they're not quite big enough, but I think you can do just as well with rats as you can with ASFs.
Well, I mean, that being said, back then I wasn't breeding. This was my first year or two getting into the hobby, so I was raising everything. So all these ASFs weren't going to adult females that I was breeding. Every adult female that has bred for me, which I'm on, I don't know how many clutches I've had, but I mean, I've only been on rats. All my female girls have been on rats. So I've not had a problem feeding rats to my ball python females, and I've not heard of anyone else having issues feeding their adult female rats. So I do say though, I mean, I feel one thing that's important is the size. I feel like sizing is kind of I feel like there's a lot of I do jumbo every 2 weeks, and people do a real small one every 5 to 7 days. So I feel like there's a huge gap. I mean, I want to hear from you. How big of a rat do you feed your adult females and your adult male ball pythons?
The adult males, nothing bigger than a large wiener. I think that's probably about as big as it'll get.
And a large ween, we call them weens, but we call them wieners here. I don't give a fuck. I think it's awesome. So a large wiener, it could be equivalent to a small rat. Like it's like that's like on the same spectrum almost, right?
Yeah, nothing too big. I don't really give any of my snakes big food. You know, I give them about the width of them across at the most. You know, sometimes smaller. I find they'll eat better if I give them not quite as big food. If I'm feeding them weekly, if I'm giving them like a smaller size, they will eat every week. If I give them something slightly bigger, they might have a week off or 2 weeks off because they just don't need it. You know, they tell you what they want almost. If they stop eating because you're giving them big food, then you know that it's too big. Like, so occasionally some of my bigger females, if I've got rats that are, as I said, the females that are like stop breeding for me or whatever, that like an adult rat size, I will occasionally give it to some of my bigger females, but I keep retics and that as well. So if I've got big rats that are past their best, I give them to them, you know.
All right, so big snakes. Let's talk about it. Fucking so UK, I mean, what are the laws right now with big snakes? I mean, because I heard if you have a retic, it has to be like 1 times of the length size of the retic or something. Like there's crazy laws with big snakes in the UK, right?
Yeah, I think they have started changing stuff now. I mean, I haven't looked into the specifics, but at the moment I've got a room downstairs that used to be a toilet that I've taken the toilet out, and I'm gonna make that into a full-size snake room just for the snake. So what I was thinking, I'm going to waterproof the floor, and where the toilet used to go out, I'm going to have that as drainage, so the whole floor can be wet, and then all the sides, I waterproof the whole thing basically, so you never get mold situations and stuff like that. But yeah, I think there are some new rules, but at the moment I've only got a couple, and they're adequate. What they've got at the moment is adequate, and what I'm building for them will be more than adequate. So yeah, I think they have changed quite a few things recently, but it's not affected me yet.
So once it comes to an effect, like, are you going to need a permit? Or are they going to come to your house? Are they going to inspect? What do you think is going to happen?
I don't think you've got to have a permit at the moment. As far as I'm aware, you can keep whatever you want. Obviously nothing venomous, but you can keep any size snake you want. I will have to check into it a bit more, but I've just had the same snakes for a while, and it's not seemed to be a problem at the moment.
So it seems like you and I have kind of the same tastes. You know, we like ball pythons, but we like retics and berms. I just got rid of 12 mainland retics just because, you know, at the time when I was getting these retics, I wanted to breed them and I was all excited. I had the same game plan and mentality as the ball pythons, but as these retics were getting big, and when I was seeing the amount of fucking eggs they were fucking giving in clutches and how fucked up the retic market is, because here in America, bro, the retic market is going to dog shit. And unfortunately, what's happening to the retic market is happening to the super dwarf market. I know a lot of people are going to be mad at me for this, but it's true. It's starting to slowly become the super dwarf market is starting to slowly become what the actual mainland retic market is, because you have people diminishing the whole truth behind super dwarf. Like you have people coming out saying, I have a 25% dwarf reticulated python that I could get smaller than your 100% pure Calicoa. You know what I mean? Like, and these are big breeders claiming this, that are confusing other people who are really vested in high percentage super dwarf reticulated python projects. So it's really fucking messy and fucked up. So that being said, before it actually was getting to the mess it was now, I just knew with my workload and with what I want on my plate, I do not want to breed reticulated pythons.
It's a lot of work.
I'm out. I do have a super dwarf project. I do have one super dwarf project where I'm actually going to pair them. The female, who's a fucking like, bro, this girl eats like a savage so bad to where she was, before I put her in an 8x3, she's in an 8x3 now, but I had her like in a 6x2. And if she was hungry, she would shove her face until it was like just like mush. Like there was so many times where I would take a picture of this snake's face and send it to my boy Andrew, who produced her, and I'd be like, yo, now do I go to the vet? And he'd be like, no, you don't need to go to the vet, man. Treat it with fucking Listerine, brown Listerine, and fucking blah blah blah, all the list of things. Feed it heavy, it sheds, it's gone. Like these things heal like fucking tanks.
They do. Yeah,
it's really crazy how they heal. It's pretty awesome. But yeah, I mean, she's still pretty big. I have her in an 8x3, and she had just shut off food, so I'm about to introduce of 75% super dwarf marble het Henri reticulated python super dwarf to her. She's a 50% super dwarf platinum het Henri.
Yeah,
So,
I mean, I don't ever plan on breeding mine. Maybe one day I might breed one, but it's just, I think the market for it is not really there. And also, I don't trust everyone that would want to buy one. You know, this is a snake that's going to get big, and the ones I've got are big snakes, you know. So I don't trust that someone who asked me to buy one of the babies is going to know what they're doing. You know, for say you hatch 50 eggs, right? You got to try and find 50 people that you can trust to grow this animal to a big size and be able to manage it, you know? A lot of people buy snakes that they don't really know what they're doing, or at least with a ball python, if someone buys it, it's not going to cause them any problems. Like, it's not going to do them any harm. But if someone buys a retic and it gets big and they don't know what they're doing, that's dangerous, you know? I don't trust enough people that I could breed it and comfortably sell all those babies to trustworthy people. You know, dude, so I just don't ever intend to. I keep them as pets, let them get big and have them as pets. I don't need to breed them. I stick with breeding the smaller stuff because I can trust that if someone buys that, it's not going to do them any harm.
Like, the stars aligned for me perfect when it came to finding new homes for these retics. Because I'm like, you gotta understand, I was like, I made sure these retics went to the best of the people I know who work with big snakes. And a lot of these snakes went back to their original breeders, which made me fucking happier than shit, because these original breeders breed retics. That's their game. That's their thing. And here's the thing. There are people out there who are doing the retic thing right. There are, but unfortunately there's not too many of them. There's not a lot of people doing it right. And that's the problem. But at the end of the day, if I couldn't have find a legit home for these retics, I would have had to figure it out myself. I would have had to then fucking put them in big enough enclosures like I did for the super dwarf. And I would have to cross that bridge when it came down there. But at the end of the day, I wasn't going to just dump these to an unexperienced keeper or somebody who had no idea. Yeah. Bro, even if you know what you're doing, here's the thing. If you tell me you have snake, like if you're like, hey man, I want to buy a retic, and okay, cool. Like, what have you worked with? I work with ball pythons, Burmese, scrubs. I probably still wouldn't sell you a retic. A retic is not any of those snakes. A retic is such a crazy, wild type fucking, like, even a captive, a generation after generation bred retic could still become something so crazy and could fuck you up. People don't understand it. It's crazy. Oh,
it's a different level. It is a different level. No, they're not for everyone, and it's just I couldn't trust having that many of them and selling them. And then you got to think what people are caging them in as well. A lot of people are going to keep them in really small, undersized enclosures, because how many people can house a 15-foot snake? You know,
it's hard.
It's a lot.
Especially when you have like more than 10, like, you know, once you have multiples of them, that's when I was like, dude, like, you know, I can understand one one is feasible. 1 or 2 is feasible. When you have like 10 to 12, you can't leave your house more than a couple days. You know what I mean? Yeah. And the thing was, when I did have all those retics, my person who would come watch over my stuff when I was gone, I would tell him, don't even fuck with the retics. Like, don't mess with them, please. I do not want to, because, like, dude, one small mistake, and then what if, you know, and he's by himself too. What if he gets wrapped? Like, and I just, oh man, and I've been wrapped. That's the thing, bro. Like, I have been wrapped by a fucking 12-foot adult male that I had. His name was fucking Zach. And in that situation where he grabbed me, wrapped my legs, and I was just sitting there, and I was like, oh my fucking God. And I just, you know, luckily was able to react and get him off me. And I still have nerve damage in my fucking pinky from that bite. But bro, like, that's like, oh man, I'm good. After that, I started really looking at I was looking at my collection and how, like, what's the most dangerous shit that I have. And I just started eliminating it. Because I was like, I don't mind going, you know, because okay, like, let's just think about it like this. The one wrong retic bite could keep you from even being able to use your hand. Like, it could literally keep you from being out, like, you know, mobile enough to even do snake chores. Like, I've had to do snake chores with one hand. It sucks. It's not fun. So imagine just not being able to have your 2 good, healthy hands. I don't want to do it.
Yeah, I mean, I did get bit by one of my females. She caught me on the thumb, and it went right through into the bone. I felt it. It felt like I got hit with a hammer. It wasn't like a sharp pain like you would get or expect from a bite. It literally felt like I got hit with a hammer right on the knuckle, and it went in, and my thumb was fucked for ages.
Right.
Yeah, it's just and she was only probably about 9-10 foot at a time. But she just caught me in a bad place, and it fucked me up. It took me a little while to recover from that.
The hardest
yeah,
snake. The one snake that was the hardest for me to let go of out of that group of 12, because I said there were 12 mainly retics, but out of the 12, there was one beautiful hypo leopard Burmese python that I raised, bro. She was fucking the sweetest fucking snake, and she was still the sweetest. Would never was not become the unsweetness that she was, but something about Burmese, man. Like, I have a huge warm heart for a Burmese python, especially a big, huge, docile one. So having to get rid of her, and she actually went back to her original breeder, which I would have kept her if that wasn't the case. But she went to a good place. And bro, Burmeses are, and you have a Burmese too, right? Or you used to?
I've had, yeah. I mean, I had a few. I had a caramel one that I sold to my brother recently. I got him a ball python, and he decided that he wanted something a little bit bigger, a little bit. He's experienced because I've always had snakes and he's always been around them, but it was sort of a step up. So she was only maybe about 4 or 5 foot at a time, and I thought, rather than selling it to someone and me never see it again, it can go to my brother. I know he knows what he's doing, and I'm gonna still see that snake and see it grow. And it's sort of like, it's So at the moment, I don't actually have any. The last one that I had, I sold to my brother, and he doesn't live too far from me anyway, so I still get to see the snake.
Oh, that's cool. Now, with the retic you have, are you feeding it rabbit? What are you feeding it right now?
Yeah, rabbits. Yeah, mostly rabbits, and occasionally the big female rats. Once they're finished breeding for me, I do occasionally give them as well, but it's mostly rabbits.
Okay, awesome. And then is it hard to get rabbits in your area, or do you get them frozen thawed? Like, how do you get your rabbits?
No, I can get. There's a guy, Simon. He basically sells every frozen thing you could possibly want. Like, he's the man to go to if you want frozen food, and he's always got everything I need. At the moment, I haven't needed to buy so much because I did buy a few a while ago, and then I've had so many adult females that I've rotated out of my rat breeding that I've just been giving them 2 or 3 rats at a time instead of a rabbit. So I haven't really needed so much recently, but whenever I need it, it's there. He's there.
I'm curious, bro. I'm gonna pull up a map. I'm gonna pull up a map of the UK, and I'm just real curious to see what part of the UK you're in. Okay, if that's cool with you.
Yeah, no worries. I'm just gonna have to turn my car on a second because my battery just flat. My phone just said I got 10% battery left. Right.
Oh shit! All right,
yeah,
go ahead.
All right. If I can charge it in my car.
All right, yeah, you're good.
Turn my car on to do it. Is that noisy? Can you hear the car?
Yeah, no, you're good. You're fine.
Right.
But yeah, what part of the UK are you from?
Right, zoom in, yeah. See where the river comes up, down a bit. Go down with the arrow if you are guide you. Yeah, just up a bit. Bristol, see there?
Right.
Yes.
This is where you're at. You're in Bristol.
Yeah, well, I'm just on the edge of Bristol, but I was born in Bristol. I live in Yate, Chipping Sodbury area, which is basically just on the top of Bristol.
Bro, you guys have good parties there.
Oh yeah, Bristol is one of the most famous cities in the country, especially for music.
Yeah, that's
come out of Bristol.
So I've been, I've been to festivals and stuff like that, but I was a huge fan back in the day of boiler rooms, and boiler rooms were, I think, started in the UK, and I know there was a few boiler rooms in Bristol, and I have a lot of really UK DJs that I've been in love with for a long time, and bro, I know Bristol's the spot. That's the party spot right there when it comes to visiting the UK. So that's pretty sick that you live there.
Yeah, and that music is always a big thing for me. I used to MC, I've done a lot. I used to rap battle as well.
Nice.
Yeah, they had I don't know if you heard of Don't Flop. It's UK rap battle scene. It's kind of like you got over there.
Yeah, I have.
So I've been on there. I've battled on there. I used to MC all the time, different events, parties, and all the rest of it. But now that I got kids, I just don't really have time to go out and party on a Friday and Saturday night.
Dude, honestly, I don't even want to party on a Friday, Saturday night anymore. I've kind of eliminated myself from that scene a few years ago. I got married, and every now and then I'll still go out, but every time I'm out, I'm like, oh, I want to go home. This is just I know what you mean. I was like, I'd rather go check on this snake, you know what I mean? Or we're fucking just not like I just can't stand people. Like I can't stand drunk people. I can't stand party. And I'm not a party. I think when I was actually a part of the party and I was one being fucked up, it was more easier to deal with. But when you're kind of just there and like, yeah, you're enjoying your drink, but you're not fucked up. And I don't just get fucked up anymore. I'm high all the time, but I don't get fucking, I'm not a drinker. You know what I mean?
No, same. I've never really, when I was younger, I used to drink a lot, but like maybe the last 10 years, I always used to go to the gym and train. So drinking, it fucked with my diet. So I just didn't, I'd have a couple, maybe one or two when I go out. I just never a big drinker since I was younger. I mean, I smoke a bit here and there and that's it. And like, yeah, I don't need to drink. And all my friends, they all love it. They all go out, they get pissed off, they get fucked up.
Yeah. That's bro. If I do drink, it's because I'm with a friend who loves it, and I'm just like, and I love him, and I'm trying to just be, you know what I mean? Like drinking's a social thing, like, and anytime I did drink, it's with other people. I never drank alone. Like I was not a fucking like, oh, I'm gonna, what a rough day. I don't look at alcohol like that. I think I only get fucked up if I'm with somebody who wants to get fucked up. But even now, I'm just like, oh, I could watch you get fucked up, and it's like I don't even like watching it. I'm just like, you know what I mean? Like once you get a part of the normalcy, I just like, and I'm not even saying what I do is normal, but compared to what I used to do, yeah, shit, man, I'm like leave it to Beaver now, man. I'm fucking just living the good life. You know what I mean? So yeah, I like it. Like, I can't complain. Now, let me ask you this: what's the nearest biggest show by you, like reptile show?
Do you know there's only one big show in the UK?
What is it?
One, which is Doncaster, and it's fucking miles away from me. It's not close.
Yeah.
But they have just started a new show that I'm hoping will take off. They did. It was in a school actually. It was like it's like a breeders' meet, and a few breeders there. So I had some tables and that. I went to that, and I'll tell you what, it was good. It wasn't big like Doncaster, but it was breeders and it was limited to 200 tickets. So everyone that went there were people that were really interested. When you get the big events like Doncaster, loads of people go. Every man and their dog goes. It's not just the breeders, But with this, it was more specifically the breeders and breeders' friends sort of thing. So it was nice. Yeah, I went there, had a little chat with some people that I've spoken to before and people that I bought snakes off or that have bought snakes from me. And hopefully this will continue because it was good.
All right, so listen, we're gonna kind of browse through your Instagram page, and I want to talk about some of your projects. But before we do that, I want to hear, bro. Like, obviously, coming into this, you had to have some sort of mentorship, or there had to be a breeder out there that you were like looking up to, or maybe just kind of just getting influence from. Do you have anyone off the top of your head that you fuck with, or used to fuck with, or anyone that kind of influenced your game that we're about to look at right now?
I don't know, I've always liked snakes, so I liked snakes before I knew who these breeders were, but when I started keeping again, I was watching videos. I was watching like obviously Justin's videos, Gav, Balls to You, Paul, Urban Constrictors, all those sort of UK guys as well that are producing the good stuff. I like to see the best looking snakes, so obviously I'm looking at the guys that are producing the best looking snakes. But I mean, I wouldn't say I looked up to anyone, but I appreciate what these guys are doing, what they're doing for the hobby. So I've sort of gone in my own direction and mostly working with hypo stuff or combos of hypo stuff or double, triple recessive, all based around hypo. But not really anyone else is doing that. A lot of these other UK guys, the bigger guys especially, they're doing their projects, but they've got quite a lot of different projects, and
right.
Mine is mostly based around hypo stuff just because I love what it does.
And that's your choice, and I love that. Like, it's like, I mean, I feel like people get into this, especially nowadays, wanting to chase somebody else's dream or someone else's vision. Which, I mean, like, I look at Justin's stuff and I'm like, wow, that's amazing. But I'm like, all right, what do I need to buy to make that snake? I don't want to make what Justin makes because Justin already made it. You know what I mean? And there will be a million other people trying to make that snake. But the thing is, like, even if you look, like, let's just say a GHI hypo, right? A real GHI hypo. There are completely different levels to a GHI hypo. I feel like you see a GHI hypo that like, yeah, that looks like it has hypo, and it looks cool. Then you see a JHI hypo that you know that has hypo and just has crazy, just fucking like spaced out patterns. Like it just like I'm just saying, there's so many different levels of quality of producing something to where like just because one person is producing it doesn't mean you can't make a better version of it, right?
Yeah.
So that's where
I've tried to go in a direction where I'm breeding stuff that nobody else has done yet. So
right.
Obviously it's hard to, everyone wants to follow someone else, or not everyone, but a lot of people want to follow what someone else is doing and try and make that snake. But I'm trying to make things that nobody's done, or that I see something that someone's done and think, oh, if I add this, I could make it look slightly better or slightly different, you know. So I'm trying to sort of go down my own path and make things that nobody's made. I've made a few that nobody else has made yet, and I know a lot of people have been asking me about them, either trying to buy them off me or trying to do what I'm doing, you know. And it's actually nice when people are asking me like how I would sort of see someone else, you know.
Yeah, I can tell you, it's an awesome feeling for sure, 100%. All right, let's dip into your page, bro. You ready to check this out? All right, so here we go. We're just gonna check out the homie Josh's Don Royal's page because he's working with some projects that I have questions about. And it's some amazing stuff. So let me check this out right here. So is this a snake you produce, or did you inquire this? What's the background on this?
Yeah, actually, this snake is probably the nicest looking pied I've ever made, and it's either a fire hypopied or it's just a hypopied. It looks really like dark and orange to maybe too much to be fire, but with all the like spread out open pattern and all the crazy little wiggly bits, you know, sort of maybe it is fire as well. I don't know for sure. Once it's grown a bit, I'll be able to tell, obviously, because the pattern will lighten up and it'll be easier to tell. And the head does look like it might be because it's got a bit of a head stamp on it. But yeah, I
love it.
That comes from a two egg clutch. So the female that I bought originally was a hypopied, and she was a shit eater. Worst feeder out of any snake that I've ever had. I think that snake actually was what made me start breeding rats. So when I bought her, she came from the States, and I think she was live fed. So at the time, I was just feeding everything frozen, you know, and I thought, oh, I'm going to have to start breeding some rats, and hopefully she'll eat live. So I bought a few rats, bred some rats, and she ate straight away. So I'm thinking the guy that I got her from that was in the UK made out that she was eating frozen. I just don't think she was, you know. I think maybe she was just eating live, and that was what she was used to, and which is why she didn't feed for me. So I bought a load of rats. So that was what's got that started. And it did take her a long time to grow. I had her for maybe 4 years before I bred her because she stayed small, was not the best eater. And then she did have a clutch. And it was only two eggs in there that were any good. And that hatched. And the same as the dad hatched. So it was a Fire Mojave Hypo Het Pied, which was what the dad was the other one. The first picture on my Instagram is the brother to that snake. So I actually hatched exactly the same as the parents. Yeah, so that's the male was identical to the dad, and the female was identical to the mum. So I'm letting that one go because obviously the dad's the same. I don't need to keep both of them.
So this is the male. This is the male right here.
Yeah, that's the male that hatched. So it's just the two that hatched from that clutch. I got lucky really on that one because that female that hatched is unbelievable.
That's gorgeous, bro. I love it. Now you also have what is this? Is this Desert Ghost?
Yeah, that's Desert Ghost Het Caramel. That was the one I was talking about earlier when I said she wasn't a great eater, and then she went like 3 months of eating amazing. And at the moment she's eating fine, but like for the first, this was again before I had my own breeding rat projects, you know. So now that I've got that, she's fine now. But there was quite a long time where she wasn't a good eater.
All right, bro. This is it right here. I mean, this is for sure my favorite snake that you have. Like this fucking thing is. Oh, man.
It is ridiculous. It looks better in person as well.
Oh, I already know. Like the thing is, like this is not doing any justice for this snake, this picture at all. And I know that because there's a similar snake like the Mandarin. You've seen the Super Mandarin and shit like that. You've seen that snake that it's called a Mandarin, Super Mandarin or something like that.
Yeah.
So, but anyways, that's a snake that looked orange, kind of similar to this. But when you see it in person, it like slaps you in the face. I guarantee this snake slapped the living shit out of you in the face.
Oh, it's amazing! It is amazing. As soon as I hatched it, it was the first one to hatch out of the clutch as well. His head was poking out. His head was purple, and it's changed as well. It didn't. When it was younger, it was more like a really, really purple and like browny orange. And then the more it shed, the more orange it got, and the more blue it got. It's just got better and better. It looks amazing.
Let's see if the video does it kind of.
The video doesn't. The video, the blue looks black in the video, so it doesn't really show it. It's hard to pick it up on the camera.
Is it gonna play it? Maybe not. All right, it's all right. Yeah. So what you okay? Let's still talk about this snake. So this is a female or a male?
Female.
Oh, you bastard. Okay. So what's your game plan with this snake?
Grow her up and hopefully make some more. I've had so many people try and buy this snake off me. People offering me silly money for it as well. And I'm just like, no, this is the snake that I wanted to make when I did the pairing. So the mother to this snake is a pastel enchi cinnamon hypo, and
Wow. Okay.
the dad was an orange dream yellow belly het hypo, and that is the snake I was aiming to produce when I did that pairing. In fact, when just before I did that pairing was when, no, in fact, not before. I did that pairing, and then Justin come out saying about cinnamon being allelic with enchi. So then this clutch was in the incubator, and I'm thinking, that means that it's all going to be one or the other. And this come out, and because I was kind of hoping to hatch a cinnamon enchi orange dream yellow belly hypo, but then as soon as that come out, I was like, well, that's not going to happen. So now the best thing that I could hatch looks wise would probably be this snake, and it come out and it exceeded all expectations. It looks unbelievable.
Okay, so if this snake was an adult ready to breed, what would you want to pair this snake to?
So I've got an orange dream yellow belly enchi hypo, which if you scroll down a bit, I'll show you it somewhere. Keep going.
This guy, or is that same snake?
Yeah, that's the same snake again. Yeah, so that
fire.
snake to the right, that snake to the right there, if you stop, yeah. So that's orange dream yellow belly enchi hypo. That comes from the same dad but a different mum. That comes from an enchi hypo female. So that is the snake that I plan to breed to most of my hypo stuff, actually. If I can get that out, get some super versions and put that with that should make some epic hatchlings.
OMG. I'm loving this, bro.
That
Look
one
at
on
this
the
shit.
left there, that one on the left,
There.
I love looking at it. Every time you click on it, I like looking at it. Yeah, the one,
This one?
Yeah, and also the same picture as the one above. The one above is the same snake.
This one.
So
Wow.
That
Yes.
come out in the same clutch as that one, that ridiculous orange cinnamon one. That's the sister to that. So they're both females. I got really lucky on this clutch because a lot of them are females, and the best ones were the females. So that one there is a pastel enchi orange dream yellow belly hypo. So I intend to breed that other one with that as well, and hopefully make some magic happen.
Are you gonna put that in pied at some point, you think?
I've got, yeah, I know. I mean, not necessarily those females. I'm gonna stick with the hypo stuff because I've got some hypo pied females already, but I've also got a hypo pied male, and I've got a female orange dream yellow belly het russo disco het pied female that I'm going to breed my hypo pied male to. And if I can get some nice orange dream combos out of those babies, hopefully pied ones, then I can breed them back to the hypo project. So I'm going to do that, but I'm going to do it from a different set of snakes, if you know what I mean. So it's less. Then I can keep my hypo females all breeding with that one main male to try and make some more orange dream yellow belly stuff, because there's just not enough of it in the UK at the moment. If I can get some of that out there, let other people have some of the sort of same luck that I've had with that, then that'd be good.
Now this snake right here, I want more like information about the special gene, because I want to know like what is it really like about? Like what's the power behind the special gene? If you could kind of enlighten me a little bit on that.
It's a great gene. I mean, the normal special version, just a special, it's just like a cool looking normal, you know. It's got like white outlines, slightly funky pattern. It doesn't look too much different from a normal, just special, just a slightly nicer version. But once you start getting it in combos, it does crazy things. And this came from a super enchi crystal, so super enchi special Mojave female, and I bred it to a leopard spot nose vanilla male. So some of the babies that come out were crazy looking. the thing with this project's now, I've actually I said I took my friend to the show and then I sold him a snake after. This is the snake that I sold him.
Wow.
Yeah, so what I've done now is anything that's not recessive, not a het, I've moved on. So this snake obviously is not recessive and it's not a het. So I thought my mate could get a decent project going on it. I didn't want to just let this go to anyone because it's a nice snake, but it's not recessive, and I want to stick with the recessive stuff, you know what I mean? So I thought I could get him started on a nice project with a nice looking snake and it not disappear out of my collection and I'll never see it again, you know?
Right, 100%. Makes sense. All right, Josh, so I have a wrap-up question for you before we get to the hot seat questions, okay?
Yeah.
So with the times happening, you know, like, you know, we always have to worry about the laws and shit here in America. But for you guys in the UK, like, do you have any kind of concerns about where the laws are headed for you guys? Like, do you ever feel like your ball pythons are going to be at risk?
Yeah. Is that? Hold on. Can you hear me all right?
That's your. Hey, yeah. Do me a favor, real quick. Exit out and then go back to the link and come back in.
Yeah, no worries.
Sounds like you're eating chips. Which, okay, hold on real quick. So did you guys hear that noise right now? That annoying ass crunching? Well, that's just a connection issue, right? And I had a lot of people bitching about Levance's episode. And yeah, I'm bringing up old shit. But to this day, I had people commenting saying how Levance was chewing gum or chewing ice while he was talking on the show. No, you fucking morons. That's not what it was. It's a bad connection as what you just saw right now. The homie Josh wasn't eating fucking hot Cheetos or anything. It was just a connection. So I'm glad that happened so I could actually explain that example. If you go back to the Levance episode, you'll see some fucking morons who commented who are really keen on saying that Levance was chewing. Anyways, he's back. I'm glad I could get that off my chest. All right, what's up? Can you hear me?
Yeah, it's crackling a little bit, but I can hear you.
Yeah, okay, no worries, man. We're gonna wrap this up because it's more of a connection issue, and this is when you need headphones. But it's okay. We're gonna power through it. So, what did you end up finishing the last question? I'm so sorry. I know we did. Were you
No,
still talking?
I don't. No. You started asking me, and then it started breaking up.
Yeah, so I mean, yeah, go ahead and explain to us. Do you feel like the UK is at risk with their laws and whatnot? Like, do you feel like you would have to ever worry about losing your ball pythons?
Maybe. You know, I mean, I see a lot of stuff that's happening now that people have been talking about for the last 10 years. I mean, I'm not going to start talking conspiracies, but a lot of the stuff that's going on now, I knew this stuff was going to happen for like the last 10 years. And one of the other things is like people in charge don't want you to have pets, right? And I can see that happening in the States now. And I can sort of see it maybe in the future in the UK where pets make people happy and they don't want people to be happy as far as I'm concerned. So I think it might end up at a point where a lot of snakes might not be able to be kept anymore, but we'll see how it goes. For now, I'm going to keep what I've got and hopefully that don't ever happen, but you never know. Hold on.
No, can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
All good. All right, my man. So let's go and get these hot seat questions out of the way, and then I'll let you enjoy the rest of your evening with your family, and then we'll wrap this up, okay?
Yeah, man.
Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, it's a little bit crackling, but I can hear you.
Do you still have your phone on the charger?
Yeah.
It's probably it. Take it off the charger. It might be it.
I did that a second ago, but then it said 3%, and I thought it might die on you. So.
Okay, no, it's probably because your phone's about to die. I'm not even joking. Okay, all right. So here we go. Hot seat questions for the homie Josh. You ready, Josh?
Yeah.
Before his phone dies. All right, here we go. Frozen thought or live?
A bit of both.
I need one or the other, bro. Frozen thought or live?
Live.
Huh?
No, I don't know. I feed mostly frozen, but I do. Well, a lot of it's fresh killed, you know. So I won't just. I'll do it there and then, if you know what I mean. I don't necessarily freeze a lot of what I've got. So if I'm feeding the stuff that I've bred, it'll be fresh, you know. So it won't be frozen. I don't put it in the freezer if I don't need it. I don't use it. But obviously, the stuff that I buy in, I do feed the frozen stuff. Yeah.
Okay, so let me repeat the question. If you could only pick one or the other, like you don't have a choice to do both, is it frozen thought or live?
If I only could choose one, it'd have to be live because some snakes just won't eat frozen. You know, all of them will eat live, but not all of them will eat frozen.
Respect.
I would prefer frozen. That's the best way to go about it in the UK. Obviously, without funny they get about things, but live is better. You know.
All right. A cut or no cut?
Again, a bit of both.
Yo, you're being a JP right now. You got to pick one or the other. Either you cut eggs or you don't cut eggs. One or the other.
Oh yeah, I do. But I let them pip first, and if the whole clutch pips, cool. If I think there's a problem, I'll cut.
So he's an A cutter. All right, cool. A cutter. All right. All right. So are you into sports or no sport? God damn.
Say that again.
Sports or no sports?
Sports. All day, every day.
Steak or fish?
Steak.
All right. Warm beer or cold beer?
Cold beer.
Van Halen or Sammy Hagar?
No idea.
Okay, I figured. Okay, let me redo this. David Bowie or Elton John?
Neither. You know, I only really listen to hip hop and drum and bass. I'm not a big fan of anything else.
Okay, all right.
Well, bit of reggae.
Oh, you do reggae? Okay, this is gonna be easy. Okay, here we go. Barrington Levy or Don Carlos? I can't hear a fucking word he's saying. You there? You're breaking up.
Barrington Levy.
Barrington Levy. Okay, cool. All right, I'm gonna wrap this up, bro. If you had to get rid of one and one forever, Facebook or Instagram, which one?
Instagram's the best.
All right, bro. Good shit. Hey, listen, Don. Fuck Facebook. Don, before you dip out, what do you have to say to all your supporters out there, everyone who fucks with you?
Thank you to everyone following, and hopefully a lot more good stuff to come for you.
Hell yeah, dog. All right, well, thank you so much. I'm sorry about the connection towards the end, but it's still a great episode, bro.
Thank you for having me.
All right, I'll talk to you later, bro. Have a good night, Josh.
And you.
All right, guys. Whew, that was brutal. I'm so sorry for that. It happens though. Just towards the end, what are you gonna do? Technical difficulties, but I appreciate everyone who hung in there. And it's fucking still amazing podcast. I got a lot of information from the homie Josh. And if you do not follow Don Royal's Pythons or Don Royal's Reptiles yet, I highly suggest you go down the link below. Go check him out on Instagram. Go look more into his ODYB cinnamon hypo game, because I could tell you that's what drew my attention to his page to begin with. And yeah, man, I appreciate everyone, you guys spending your Saturday morning, evening, afternoon, whatever the fuck, wherever it is at your time. Appreciate you guys hanging out with me and the homie the homie Josh. Brandon or Josh? Why am I so? It's Josh. It's not Brandon. I'm so off right now. Anyways, guys, I have a lot of things I got to go do. I'm sure you guys do. But before you guys leave, if you have not hit the like button for the homie Don Royal's Reptiles, go hit the like button. I'm even cool with dislike buttons. You know me, keep it real, and drop a comment. Let me know how you're liking the podcast. And then obviously hit the subscribe button. That way you're never sleeping on any Trap Talk with MJ that comes out live Thursdays, Saturdays now. We brought the Saturday Trap Talk dab and coffee sessions. They're back, baby, full in effect. And I did this for you guys. So, yeah. Keep motivating me. Keep giving me positive feedback because I love it. Shit drives me to keep going hard. Harder than a motherfucker. And if you guys ever need to get a hold of me, you guys know what the deal is. Hit me up on Instagram. That's literally the best way. Or if you really want my attention, join the Trap Talk Patreon family. We get together every Sunday. We chop it up about our week. I give them VIP insights on what the fuck I have going on with, not only my projects, but with the podcast. I have nonstop fucking ideas that I'm going to blow through the roof with this hobby industry, whatever you want to call it. So just be ready. So anyways, if you want to be a part of that and become more tight-knit with the Trap Talk and really come, be a part of the trappers and be fucking some of the family members, then go down to the link below. Join the Patreon family. We'll talk then because we get together every Sunday. And I cannot wait to say what up to my Patreon members tomorrow, 6 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. And I will see you guys next week for another Trap Talk with MJ. And I hope you guys are liking the vlogs because I brought those back for you. Motherfuckers. Later. I'm out.